City lose Liverpool again, 2-0, unfortunately. Weird game of football, and probably not the video you're expecting, actually. I don't feel immensely frustrated by that game. I don't feel incredibly sad or down or beaten or trodden, because ultimately, I think it just was a very fair reflection of where the two teams are at. There was no hard done-by story. There was no what-if story. Ultimately, they were just better than us, and that's what I mean by a lack of quality, if you're wondering what I mean by that. Someone's just asked. They are better than us. They are just a better side than us. I don't think City were abysmal today. I mean, when it came down to it, they were just better in defence when it needed to be, and better going forward than they needed to be. And that is it. I think if we played that level against a few teams in the league, we probably win, you know? I think we probably do. But we had no solution to the wall in front of Liverpool's goal. That is Van Dijk and Konate with Alisson in goal. We had no solution to that. We just couldn't create anything. A functional midfield Liverpool, obviously with Gravenberch and McAllister. And then you had the quality of Salah up front, just better than us, you know. So this is where my head's at after that game. I don't really think we learned anything today, other than a few positive stories, I would argue. It's one of those things where I am not going to lose sleep over it. In fact, I would argue that I would take a positive spin on it in terms of I feel you can see what we need to improve from that. Like, I think there was some decent performances. We will get into everyone individually. I want to immediately just bookend this video with the one individual positive. Kusanov, I think he's going to be an absolute superstar. I think Kusanov is easily the positive from this, and he'll be leading the 5 Things Learned video tomorrow. Kusanov is made for the Premier League, and even though there's a few mistakes here and there, and maybe could have done slightly better to stop the shot, for the second goal in particular, I think Kusanov looks ready-made to be an elite level centre-back. Aggressive, composed, strong, great pace. I'm really happy with the signing of Kusanov. So I think there's a real player there. But I'll get to the players individually, and I'll talk about what the feeling of this game for me is overall. I just largely feel that they're just a better side than us. It's one of those things where it's entirely down to our elite players. I would say, if you think about City's truly world-class players, like our game winners over the year, our truly world-class players, better than everyone else, our killers, Rodri, Haaland, De Bruyne, and maybe Diaz at his very best defensively. Those 4, I would say, are like truly elite players that were just, but Diaz is like, and we'll get to Diaz in a minute, but they were the ones I would always trust in a big game. They were like top level quality. For different reasons, they're not there at all. Rodri's just not there, of course, of injuries. Haaland injury. Foden last season was, maybe, but he started poorly. He got better towards the end. De Bruyne was always just world class. He's just not there anymore. He's not that. And Diaz has dropped off a cliff this season as well, like Foden has as well. Whereas we've got no one, I would say, in that team that is truly world-class right now. There's not a single player who's playing at a world-class level in that Manchester City side. Some very good, like Savinho's having a really good season, but truly world-class, no one. Whereas Liverpool have got Konate, Alisson, Van Dijk, Gravenberch is up there at level. McAllister's been excellent. Not world-class, maybe, but very good. Salah, absolutely. They've got world-class players. But we've got world-class talent, but no world-class form, you know? It's one of those things where the thing for me is, it's ultimately, and people can talk about, I've always some people saying, oh, Salah did nothing, Salah did that. Salah did, we can't sit there and say Salah did now other than score and assist. That's the whole fucking point of his game, just accept he did his, it's like people going on about Salah did now. It's brilliance. It's top level brilliance, which we've seen from City players for years. That's the difference. And, we can't sit there and moan about it. Salah say, oh, he did nothing other than that. Well, that's exactly what you want, man. Like, that's the thing is, like, and some people were saying about Salah doing nothing other than that. He did his job. He was brilliant at his job, man. He did his job by a long way. Like, absolute quality, you know, and I don't get why people would say that, you know. I think they're missing the point. If we had Salah today, we might have scored a goal or something, you know, and Salah's just miles ahead of why are people talking about Haaland? Salah, he's brilliant. If that's what he's going to do, you know, he's gonna score a goal and create another. He's been brilliant, you know. That's decisiveness, you know. And you got to bear in mind, Salah also is old these days. So, but anyway, but back to the actual team. I don't think anyone played abysmally in that side. I don't think. Well, actually, I think KDB played abysmally, and I think Foden had a poor game too. But largely, I think the team was okay. I think the team was all right. If I talk about the positives. The age profile. The age profile is decent. I think there's some young players there who did themselves no harm at all, you know. I'll show you, bring up the team there for you. I corrected myself, Lizzie. Chill out, mate. KDB and Foden had a really poor game. Why can't I appreciate? I'm literally about to. I'm going to ignore the chat for a bit because everyone doesn't let me finish the point before they get annoyed. So I feel like ultimately, I think City did okay today. I think we played like a side who just didn't have the conviction of quality that Liverpool did. You know, I go through the team. Edison couldn't really do much with the goals. He was looking for the first one. Rico had that the sort of brain fart that led to the first corner. Annoyingly, he was fine other than that, Rico. I'm not going to sit here and pretend he got skinned on the other side. He did his job against Luis Diaz pretty well, actually. It's one of those things where I felt Rico actually did okay. Like, people will go, "Oh, he was shocking. He made a mistake for the first goal." Yeah, he sort of did, but other than that, he did fine. He did all right. Like, he didn't do amazing, but he did okay. I thought Kusanov did really well in difficult circumstances. I thought Ake was all right as well. He was okay. I thought Vardiel, he was fine going forward, but Vardiel can never stop Salah one-on-one. Like, he was too soft, I would say, in the challenge for the second goal. Let Salah cut in far too easily. Finding possession as always, you know, is what it is. Nico did okay. Nico did all right. You could argue that maybe he could have got back a little bit better. Got back a little bit better to stop the second chance. As you can see there, his passing was once again good. 94% pass accuracy. I want to see more of those little dink balls over the top. He did one to Savinho, I think, at one point, which was really nice, where Savinho cut it back. I think it was him anyway. But Nico, I think, shows promise, you know. He was largely good at sort of controlling the possession for us, and he had a decent game, you know. I'm fine with Nico's physicality. I think he did all right. This is against one of the best sides in the league, so we've got to be realistic here. I think he's had a good start, Nico. We can see the talent there. No better or worse than Rodri started, by the way. Probably arguably better. For Savinho was very positive, very aggressive, but today he had a couple of decent passes as well. You know, he made he set a few attacks off on the way, but he just didn't have the final ball today. He was running at people constantly, but he wasn't really beating. By the way, 1 dribble completed out of 4. We're going to go to Doku here. Doku, look, where's his dribbles? 18 dribbles attempted, completed 13. That is absurd. Doku's dribbling is incredible. He's probably the best one-on-one dribbler I have ever seen in the Premier League. It's ridiculous how good it is. But Doku also needs to be able to create some chances. I am not going to get annoyed at Doku because I feel like he was exactly. I think tireless is the word there. I'm going to. I can't pronounce your mate. Aizatuddin, Anik. I agree. Like, I think Doku, his end product. Jimmy James Peters always defend garbage Lewis. Look, Lewis didn't play badly today. He made a bad mistake, but he didn't play badly. I've told you he's played shit a few times this season, so that's not true. I can't sit there and say everything Lewis did today was poor because he wasn't. It just objectively wasn't. He made one bad mistake. He did. I agree, but objectively, for the rest of the game, he was perfectly fine. In fact, he created the chance that led to the offside goal. So, like, I can't sit here and tell you something that I don't think is true because I'm not saying he's good enough. I don't think he is. I don't think Rico Lewis is good enough to be a starter for us in City's. I think ultimately he's a squad player, but I can't sit here and tell you he's terrible. I'm sorry. He wasn't crap today, Jimmy James. I'm sorry, mate. He just wasn't. He made a mistake, but that doesn't mean. Never mind. I don't care. Jeremy Doku, though, the issue with Doku today is that you had no movement. Like, his final ball is not good, but the movement is poor, man. Like, Kanate and Van Dijk ate it up all day because it was one of those things where it was just too easy for him. I mean, Rico, by the way, is a squad player. He's fine in a team that's doing well. But in a modern era with the size of the players, he's going to struggle. We're not unless we're controlling the ball. But largely, he stood up Luis Diaz a few times, and yeah. But it is what it is. But I thought Doku had a good game today, man. I think he can leave the game with his head held high. Marmouche was okay. He was okay. He has a tendency to shoot, doesn't he? A couple of times. It's one of those things where a couple of times he should have passed Marmouche, you'd argue. But he's, you can see the talent there with Marmouche. I just think he's going to be one to need the creative geniuses around him because he's not going to do the creating himself. And ultimately, we don't have creative geniuses. We've got a couple of wingers, but that was it. Our tactics would get the ball to the wingers and see what else can do. There was a real sad lack of quality from the midfield. Just, the centre of our pitch, which is usually our strongest. Foden playing as a false nine today. Look, I miss the days of Phil Foden sort of dribbling. I know he's playing as a false nine today, his role, which is interesting, but the amount of times you get the ball in those sort of like hot points there and turn past someone and spin, you just don't see Phil Foden doing that anymore. And I am very much Foden. By the way, anyone who wants Foden gone is being ridiculous. I'm sorry, I really mean this. Possibly, maybe some of you guys lose perspective, but anyone who wants Phil Foden out, the lifelong City fan who dragged us to a title last year, he's having a bad season. I am not going to pretend it, but you just don't bin someone because of a bad season. Never hated a City player more than he did Foden. Well, fuck off, mate. He's a lifelong City fan who loves this club. He's having a bad season, but some of you guys applied the same standards to your own life. You would have deleted yourself a long time ago, man. He's having a terrible season, but to just give up on him after this year when the whole side has been shit. If everyone was having a great season, Foden was I'm not defending Foden's performances. He's been bad this year, absolutely. But to get rid of him, Phil Foden was a lifelong City fan in Sports United. Daedric, with all due respect, mate, that's absolute bullshit. He's a lifelong City fan. His family, that is just not true. Don't rewrite history, man. But anyone who wants rid of Phil Foden is just an emotional man-child. I'm sorry. I won't even be diplomatic with that because that's irrational. No one wanted him gone last season. No one wanted him gone the season before that. No one wanted him gone the season before that. But I've seen people say it if you didn't want him... Some of you, genuinely, some of you would sell your own mother if they had a bad year. You never liked Phil Foden. Well, not my fault. You have no understanding of football, mate. You do you, Gavin. But whatever. But anyway, he's had a terrible season. But ultimately, I feel like anyone that has had a bad season this year, they don't get a free swing, but they get very generously the excuse that everyone's been bad. Everyone gets this season, apart from the ones who are old and have clearly done, but everyone this season gets the whole, you get a sort of, because it's been so bad, thankfully, you get another go at next year, presuming you're not old and done. Phil Foden is clearly not done at the age of 23, 24, whatever. So yeah, but I was disappointed today. The sad realisation for me is that Kevin De Bruyne feels sort of like he's on the way out, doesn't he? Kevin De Bruyne is my favourite ever player. And look, I sort of know that Kev watches these every now and then, and I know he reads my tweets and stuff like that, but I think he knows. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing there. Maybe there's something we don't know, maybe there's something about Kevin De Bruyne's current fitness is not there, but, I'm a firm believer of Occam's razor, which is a principle, which is the thing that requires the least explanation is usually true. And I say that a few times on this channel because that's how I view my world. I think people overcomplicate things and overthink things, but ultimately the most simple explanation is usually the correct one. And I think in this instance, given everything we know about KDB, everything we know about, his injuries and his age and what we've heard and what he said publicly and what Guardiola said publicly, I mean, I'd be mad to presume it's anything else than just physicality and his age catching up to him. I don't think we can sit there and hope that KDB is just going to come back and find that form again. It feels to me that we just have to accept that KDB is where he is right now. I want to be wrong more than anything. I really want to be wrong. I truly want I truly, truly want, to see City, with De Bruyne shining again. But I just can't see how this happens. A couple of super chats, by the way. Thank you so much to Haneen. Sorry, I forgot to get to them. Haneen with the super chat says, we need to admit Phil is a letdown this season. Absolutely. At 1,000,000,000%. I am not going to sit here and pretend otherwise. I would never sit there and tell you Phil has been great this season. He hasn't. And I would say it's been diabolical for Phil based off the quality of last season. The standard last season when he won, the PFA Player of the Year. I felt he'd have a great year this year. For whatever reason, Phil has not followed it up well. The team's been terrible and he's not found any form. It's worth bearing in mind that Phil didn't get going last season until De Bruyne returned either. Been poor for him. You're not wrong, mate. Juice Abu says, don't have spark in the final third, missing many missing runs. I agree, no final third spark. I mean, ultimately, there's also the very fair, you can call it an excuse or whatever, but there's also the very fair point that this is literally a team that's never played together, ever. Like, go through that team, Kusanov, Nico Gonzalez, Savinho, Marmoush, all joined this season. So they're all new to Manchester City in the past 6-7 months. Because if you get Savinho, he feels like he's been here forever because of the long season, but he joined this season too. So 4 of the starting 11 joined this season. The rest of them have never played with the other people alongside them, Foden's playing as a false 9 for the first time in God knows how long. Doku's barely ever fit. Marmoush is trying to adapt to this new position, Vardial, okay, and Ake, fair enough, Edison. But ultimately, I think it's fair to say that this is a team against the best team in the land that just lacked the cohesion to break down the best defensive partnership and stop the best striker forward in the league. So I think that's a very fair point to raise. We're allowed to say that ultimately they're just better than us and this team isn't where it's at. This is my genuine feeling. Genuine feeling is that they are just better than us. And I don't think today is one to sit there. I don't think it was disgraceful today. People I feel like, I don't know, I don't think there was a lack of effort there today. I just don't think they're good enough, man. And I think that's not a surprise. Does anyone think we're as good as Liverpool right now? Is there a single person who thinks they're as good as Liverpool? Does anyone think we're as good as Liverpool? And if not, then why did you expect us to beat them today? It wasn't awful. They were just better than us. That's the thing is, they are just better than us. They are just better than us. And that's the thing is, it's very obvious to me that this was entirely down to just not being as good as them. This is what we did to everyone else. We used to Villa teams, top 4 challenging teams used to come to us and we just beat them 2-0 comfortably. And that's what used to happen. We just a moment of quality. And that's what I'm going to say. They weren't that good. They were just better when it needed to be, mate. They were better defensively. Van Dijk and Konate, they scooped everything up, and Salah was better when it matters. It's one of those things where, I am very realistic, and I can't lose sleep over this. This is like the Real Madrid game. They're better than us. I actually thought there was some signs of positivity. It was a young side, man. It was a young side. Kusanov was great. They scored easy goals, but the first goal I thought was good, by the way. I don't think it is about the formation today, mate. I don't think it is about the formation. What could you change today about the formation? What would you really change today? I just think it's quality. If Pete De Bruyne if Foden's in form and Pete De Bruyne is in this team, we create chances and score today. That's a fact. But KDB, we haven't got a creator. So I think it's genuinely quality. Someone just said it was the formation in the team. The formation was fine. The formation was fine. The formation is fine when you get up the pitch really well and you keep all the ball. And we got up the pitch absolutely fine. How many times did we get the ball to Savinho and Doku? How many single times? Absolutely, we had no problem getting the ball at the pitch. It's clearly not a formation thing. I'm not saving Pep. I said in the previous game against Real Madrid that the tactics were terrible. So you guys who watch this video know that. Today the issues weren't tactics. The structure made sense. It was just entirely the players were not good enough today. It's blatantly a quality issue. Absolutely. I don't see any other potential reason for that, and I can't sit here and pretend I feel like Pep got it wrong today. I can't sit here and pretend. It's just a quality issue. What other changes could you have made? The team was pretty good, but KDB's not up to it. You know, and without Haaland, we haven't got a focal point. As you said, one more thing, we need to change set piece coach. I agree with that. Our set pieces are terrible. We haven't got any threat in the air anyway. You know, we haven't got all our giants, Stones, Rodri. You know, whatever, Haaland. But I agree with that. Our set pieces are poor. Arsenal took our coach. They did better than us. Thank you for the super chat, mate. But chemistry as well. John's right. Chemistry. Chemistry isn't there either, but that once again is a team in flux. You know, is very much in flux. I'm not stressed by today. I'm truly not stressed. It's a write-off the season. Do I think I've seen enough today to know that we get top 4? Probably, yeah. Look, we can't. O'Reilly and Nunes for. Like, I don't find anything to moan about today that we haven't already moaned about. I actually thought this could be painful today. I thought they could batter us and be all over us, but that didn't happen. Because Liverpool can keep the ball these days, and I thought that would happen, you know. I don't think we played well, but I don't think it was... stay humble here. What was Liverpool fans saying to stay humble for? Something about that, man. This was at Arsenal. We were talking to serial losers there, not people who win. Like, Liverpool are... Liverpool are actual winners, you know. That's the one positive I will say, by the way, is that Arsenal aren't going to win the league. Job done there, you know. I think we'll finish top 4. I think we'll get Champions League football. I think actually, Momish was never going to bully Van Dijk and Konate. The only way we were going to get today is if we had like. The only way we were going to get, but Marmouche, by the way, if he stays in it like that, literally that much further onside, he scores a nice goal today as well, which was a good finish, by the way. I am really relaxed about that game of football, actually, because I don't think we've learned anything. I think it just is what it is, man. It is what it is. We know we're losing on a regular basis, but there's one of those things like anyone complaining that we're losing now, he's just complaining. Like, I think you're just complaining for the sake of it. Like, we're not going to get better. Like, if people... You cannot go into this Liverpool game and expect to win. Like, if you go into... Ultimately, I think it's... I was hopeful that we'd do all right today. And I actually felt reasonably justified. I think there were some positives. But, like, I think we need to reset our expectations. Stop thinking we can beat Madrid and Liverpool right now. This might be chastening and hard for some of you to hear. We can't beat Liverpool and Madrid. They are better than us. They are just better than us right now. And I'm fine, by the way, Victor, but I'm just trying to spell it out for the people who haven't clicked yet. Like, hoping for a draw, I was hoping for a draw too. But ultimately, we know the problems. We know we made mistakes with the rebuild. We know we've had the injuries. We know we should have started it. We've accepted as a club very publicly. Guardiola literally said in the pre-season, in the press conference, that they're having very difficult conversations with physios and agents about the suitability of some of these players. And if they can't play every 2 or 3 days, they're going to have to move on, unfortunately. So we know that, you know. And Guardiola should go, nah, go where you're cranked, mate. You can go for that. Don't be silly. But basically... Pep's admitted that he was wrong about the old players. He's come out and said it. And what I really get frustrated by is people's inability to accept a mistake, you know, for our greatest ever manager. Anyone who cannot accept Guardiola coming out and saying, I got it wrong, I'm sorry, and then want him gone anyway. Like, I feel like, to me, at that point, you're just being unreasonable. Like, I can accept people making mistakes if they own those mistakes. And it's very obvious that we're owning those mistakes, you know? And we can moan about, you know, lack of all the age. But today, Guardiola, against Liverpool, it needs to be pointed out, against Liverpool today, Guardiola left Bernardo Silva and Gundogan, you know, out the starting 11. This is what we moan about. Pep is clearly trying to build towards the future. He's said as much multiple times in press conferences. He's spelled it out, and if you're not hearing it, you're not listening. And ultimately, that's on you as an individual. I'm not saying it's good enough, but he said the same things time and again now. He's got it wrong. We're rebuilding, and we're not as good as these sides. And that's the thing, is like, I don't know what more he could have done today. I truly don't. I think we're not good enough. I think De Bruyne and Foden aren't good enough as what they are. Oh, that was a joke from Carragher, by the way, man. It was clearly a joke. I actually saw that. I don't even like Carragher, but I saw that skit, and he was clearly joking about... He was winding Micah Richards up, you know. But anyway, yeah, I think Pep, the team was fine today. Let's talk about Kusanov. Kusanov is going to be elite. A couple of the covering blocks, they were brilliant from Kusanov. You know, this is a guy who's got so much potential, clearly. His passing is remarkably composed today. Look at that, by the way. 87 out of 80 passes for Kusanov. That is really impressive. I need to share that, by the way. I was not expecting Kusanov to be that good on the ball. I need to share this, by the way. Like, I need to share that. Plus, a fair few. He's actually unreal, isn't he? Like genuinely, what a talent. What a talent. You know, I need to, like, he's going to be brilliant. For what it's worth, True Dogs, I don't think Marmoush is a true number 9. He can play there, yeah, but I don't think he is. That's why Pep did it. Look, Marmoush got in those positions today, so I don't think, once again, like, if you look at Marmoush, let's go and look at him. Like, Marmoush was playing central, man. Like that is Marmoush's exact favourite position there. That, like, bit where, you know, I mean, look how central he is for some of it as well. Marmoush loves that. He's not a number 9. He wants to move off people. Marmoush has never been a direct number 9. He's not a direct 9. He's an off-the-striker guy, as long as he gets to play central. And Marmoush was plenty central today, as you can see there. He thrives in that. Yeah, he's that left channel, but making runs off people. So, no, he was bought to play as a second striker, mate. And that is, by the way, that role there is mainly a sort of like off a striker role, which is fine. He's very central when he wants to be there. So, but yeah, but Kusanov, very encouraging. I think he's going to be a quality footballer, and yeah, he's a left forward. Yes, that's a good way of putting it. So, True Dogs, thanks for the super chat, mate. But I think I don't think he is a sole 9. I don't think he is. I think he is what we've seen there today. But I'm really not losing sleep over it. I know it's not the result we guys wanted, but if you could give the video a like anyway and consider subscribing to the channel, it'd be massively appreciated. You know, and trying to do my best for this stuff and trying to keep it level head for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Kenneth said with the super chat, Liverpool sat in a low block in a very good team. Rico marking VVD on corners was comical. Yeah, a better yardstick would be the game against Spurs. I agree, that's a better yardstick. Absolutely, Kenneth, bang on. Yeah, I mean, we do the zonal marking thing, don't we? Which is, like, I get zonal marking, and these genius managers must know something about them, you know, because they do it all the time. But when Rico sort of left on VVD, it's worrying, isn't it? But yeah, the Spurs game is going to be a better yardstick. Ultimately, Liverpool are just better than us. I agree. So, this is where my head's at, you know. I suggest we all just relax about this game. No stress from me at all. Upsetting, and some of these players are a level below, but we're all working towards next season. So, guys, thanks for watching this. I'll go live tomorrow. I think I might do 93-20 tomorrow with Asan. And yeah, I'll be live tomorrow morning to do 5 things learned. For now, I don't think there's anything bad from this game. I think some of the new players actually had really good games. I think Doku and Savino held the head high with the aggressiveness. I thought Kusanov was excellent. Nico showed signs of positivity. And we know where we are. We just need to get better and move on. Thanks, guys.